Hello and good afternoon. This is Videolog episode 21. Oh boy, this morning was a little bit messy for me. I finally went to the library because I don't have a printer, so I had to go over there and pay for some copies. I believe it was like 25 cents per copy back in front, or page back in front. But man, I was struggling. I don't know, I was like really anxious, so it was hard for me to focus on my task. But yeah, there were a lot of people there. It was Saturday, I guess, but also like, in the middle of the city, a library in the middle of the city is like really different in comparison to what I'm accustomed to. So I was like sitting right beside somebody, and there was just a lot of noise for a library, at least for what I was accustomed to. So I was like, yeah, my brain was anxious and it was hard for me to focus. But yeah, I finally got there. I had I had to get more copies than what they were giving me, and I could only pay in cash for the pages. So I think I had like 10 free pages, but that's not enough for what I how many resumes I wanted, because that means I would only have 5 resume copies, and I feel like it anymore. So I did 10 resume copies, so I did have to pay for like an extra like I can't even do the math right now, but I believe I had like 115 credit because of how much the pages were. So I had to pay like $375 or some shit like that. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, I'm just exhausted, and my brain was on overload the whole time because I was anxious, and it's been a while since I've really just interacted with the public, so it's like I can't focus. So I had to go to the ATM, and I had to get some cash, and I had to walk back, and then my session ended. I was not actually sorry. My session didn't. It was fine. I had enough session time. It was just that the regulation of the library only permitted 2 logins, and that's as much you could have for a guest session or guest thingy. It was the first time I've ever seen that mechanism, but. Yeah, so I had to remake a new session. I also had credits in there too, so that guest session was canceled, and that girl had to transfer credits of 450 to another one, and it was just a mess. It was just a mess, and I was frustrated. I didn't feel like talking to anybody, but I had to do it because I told myself I'd do it today, so I had to push through it. And I'm surprised because I really just wanted to walk out of the library. I really just wanted to fucking walk out, but I did it. Got my resumes, so I fucking did it. That was more painful than it had to be, but anyways, I should have done more research before I went to the library, but anyways, it's whatever. So yeah, it seemed like I was being rude, and I didn't want, it wasn't the girl's fault, but I was just, my mind was on overload, and there was just too much going in the back of my mind, and I think I made an ugly look. I don't know. Anyways, I'm overthinking it, and anyways, I was frustrated with myself. So me being frustrated with myself seemed like I was frustrated with her, and she seemed fine, but she was laughing at me because she was wondering why was I so flustered, and I don't know. My hands get like really clammy as well. Like extremely sweaty. I don't know. It's always been like this. No matter what. Like no matter what I'm doing, I'm just sweating like a freaking hippo. Whatever. No, I don't know. I just sweat profusely on my hands. Just get really clammy. It's always my hands. And it's been like that forever. And sometimes I'm just like, I just walk out in public and I'm like, my hands are just sticky. It's sweaty, and I don't understand why I get so anxious all the time. So I've been trying to get better, and yeah. I wrote some notes as usual, and I I don't know. Like the thing is, like I think I actually do have an OCD. I was like, I never thought of. I think of like you think of like the stereotypical person that washes their hand constantly or just does one act. But like it's more than that. Like it's any kind of obsessive compulsion disorder, obviously. And I just, for some reason, I just had the preconception of that. I didn't think it through, I guess. But I think I do have OCD. Because I was looking back at my past, I always had like one obsession that I don't know. Like it's that odd. I don't really know. I can't really say anything. But I do have like these. I don't have a social. I don't think I have a social disability. I don't know. I don't socialize with people, so it may seem like I have a social disability because I haven't practiced socializing enough. So it looks like that I may be a little bit socially inept, but it's mainly the fact that I haven't practiced socializing with people. But yeah, anyways, I think I may have an OCD. I may have OCD because like I have these thought loops that I always stick to, and yesterday I looked at a bunch of random videos about OCD. I was like, holy shit, this is me. And I've been practicing some of the coping mechanisms that you can use to combat these horrible habits of like these thought loops. And I think I don't know. My obsessive compulsions actually amplified my depression because I would always think any thought that would come up in my head, they'd go through these thought loops and I'd constantly think of it, and I couldn't let go of them. I'm learning to let go now, and I'm learning to not put so much weight on thoughts, so I'm slowly getting better. It's just, I don't know how I functioned in this world. I really don't know how I functioned. I actually don't even know how I even had a job to begin with. God, because I was always like this. Like there's like at least 90% of my CPU was being used by my constant anxiousness and these random thought loops that would just impede on my functioning in the world. So I'm gonna work on that because it's really bad. I get negative for whatever reason, and I just get really impatient, and then my impatience kind of compounds to like me just not, I have to do everything extremely fast for some reason, and I'm trying to slow down and breathe and think things through because it's. Yeah, I mean, like it's just kind of self-deprecating, and I don't want to do that anymore. I really don't. So I'm trying to fix it. Anyways, yeah, but I mean, I'm still anxious because I just moved into this environment, so I think my mind is just, it's still calibrating because I've never been in a city lived in a city before, so this is my first time living in one, and at least the area that I'm in doesn't really have a lot of foot traffic, but when I walk into different buildings and whatnot, it's a lot more than what I'm accustomed to, so my brain's just like, it just doesn't know how to process it, and it doesn't have to. It's just that it wants to, but it can't, and I just slowly tell. I'm getting better. I am getting much better, and I'm learning. That's all I can really say right now. It's I think things will get better. It's gonna take some practice. Yeah, so I've been telling myself that I need to start doing things more, and that's why I was like, yesterday I was like, I gotta do something, and I ran to, like 30 minutes before the library closed, I ran to it because it's like, all right, shit, I have to go do something, and then I was like, fuck, well, I had to print out my resume, so I ran over there, and there was I talked to the guy, and he said that the computers are not accessible 30 minutes before they closed. And I was there like around 4:35 or some shit. I think it was like 4:35. I don't remember. Whatever. But anyways, I was a bit late for using the computer, and so he said I could use my phone, which I could have, but my anxieties were like, they came up with a lot of excuses on why not to take out my phone and just do it. Like, it's so stupid. But my brain's like, I don't know. It does this all the time. Like I want. Sometimes I think it's like, oh, that's a nice cafe, and I see like a minimum of, if it's a minimum of 15 people, I'm probably not going to walk in. It has to be below 15 in a building, and like the city cafes, they're pretty dense. So like, and it's tricky, man. It is tricky. Like it starts coming up with random excuses like, oh, let me look at the menu so I can actually come up with an excuse on not to do it. And it did the same exact thing when I went to the library to access my phone, because like I could have just done it right then and there with my phone, and I could have done a wireless connection to the printer, but then my brain was like, well, my battery's at like 25%, so I guess I can't do it right now. So I was like, fuck, and I walked away, and I knew what my brain was doing, but I did not question it. I did not challenge that thought. I should have. And I was also like, there are a lot of instances it does that too with, it's just too anxious, man. It's like, it thinks about things it shouldn't be thinking about. You know what I mean? And I just had to work on that. I'm thinking about things I should not be thinking about. I guess I just had to learn to focus, right, and forget about all the other things. But man, it is hard sometimes. At least for me, because I've always been in my own little bubble, right? You know, I mean, like I've had jobs where I had to, like, I don't know how I coped with those jobs. I really don't, with how my brain works. Like, I think it took me a while to, like, function properly in those jobs. Like I know I don't have a learning disability. It's just that my brain is thinking about way too many things at once when somebody is explaining something to me. So maybe sometimes I may forget, not even process it, I think. Or like, just even simple functions is annoying. Anyways, whatever. It is what it is. It's just, I'm slowly calibrating. I'm getting better. So yeah, I'm just trying to challenge my thoughts more, and I'm trying to get myself to do more things, because maybe if I don't know, I think I really just need to challenge my thoughts more, because if I do that, because I know when I think about doing things, it's like, you know, the what ifs just start piling up, and like it's like a stack queue where like you forget what you were even thinking about, or what you were thinking, or how to even do it, because you're thinking about all the what ifs. You know, it's like, it's annoying. I don't know, like, it's just, I think it's anxiety. I used to think it was ADHD, but I think I'm just a really anxious person, you know, just like really bad. I've always been like this though, which is annoying, and I can't function. I just can't fucking function. And like, even when it comes to things I've done before, my brain's like, oh, I just don't understand my brain. I'm trying to do better. I really am. Yeah, and I was like, well, I need to find a job. It was like, you know, maybe I had to work on this anxiety thing, because how am I supposed to function in a damn job when my brain's lighting up, my amygdala is lighting up like crazy? You know, fight or flight, right? It can't do higher thinking when it's like this. It's using up 99% of my CPU, man. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess I just had to keep exposing myself. And I'm thinking, I guess I should, like, there are things I can do. I mean, like, even like right now, I'm thinking about being outside, and my brain's just, it's tired just thinking about it. And I mean, I know I'm getting better, but it's hard, man. I don't know if I need a therapist for this, or if I should just keep trying until it gets better. I think I'm just going to keep doing that, to be honest. I think I'm going to keep doing that. I'm just going to keep exposing myself. Yeah, so like soaking myself in my environment, and then doing, getting myself to, because, you know, doing things, it's like, that's the only way in which you can really work, right? You have to fucking do things. Oh, God. Anyways, you know, and just accepting failure, because that's another one of my issues. I think that is actually, is that a source of my anxiety? I think that is a huge source of my anxiety, because the what ifs are usually a worry about my failures, right? It's like, what if I say this? What if this person's watching me while I do this, and I just don't know how to do it, or I have to ask this person a question, because it's too many what ifs, and I'm scared. I really am just scared of failure. I think I'm just scared of failure, which is why I'm so anxious right now. So I just had to accept failure as the process, the part of the whole process, you know. It's just like, anyways, it takes exposure, really. It just really takes exposure. I just had to throw myself out there and just get battered and bruise until I learn from my mistakes, I guess. Socializing, you know, exposure, really. That's just like, just need to do more exposure. Loving the process of action. I don't know what I was trying to say with that, but, you know, I think I can see that being like discipline, you know, loving doing things, right? You know, I guess it's a form of brainwashing. I need to stop thinking of it as brainwashing, but whatever. Anyways, those were like this is what I did today, and this is my current struggles as of now, is just really accepting that failure is the process of any action, really. That's how we learn as human beings. And I don't know how I think it may be just I think my brain just wants to do everything perfectly, because it wants to perfectly calculate everything and do it just everything succinctly, and that's impossible for anybody to do that. It's like, you can't do that, especially when you're in a new environment with all these new stimuli that your brain has never even seen before. It's like, I don't know. My brain's, I just need to drop it. I need to let go of those preconceptions, and I'm just gonna put it to the side. I'm gonna breathe, and I'm gonna keep doing, no matter how painful it may be. I'm just going to keep doing, because this is not good. This is really not good. Anyways, I think I'm being a little bit dramatic, but anyways, I think that's it for today. I'm gonna stop blabbering, and yeah, I'm going to maybe I'll just take a nap, because I need to recharge my batteries after that. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.